Whether you have a diagnosis or not, I don't care. I'll teach you how to find what's causing your health struggles using the blood work you already have right here on this podcast, but also in my new book, Why Are My Labs Normal? Go grab it on Amazon and let me know you love it and appreciate the knowledge by leaving a review for both the book and this podcast. In fact, this July, we are having a contest. This contest is for practitioners, and every practitioner who participates will receive my new step-by-step guide, How to Attract the Right Clients and Build Your Business with Social Media and Live Workshops, not paid ads. There will be 3 grand prize winners who will receive free access into my next Master Bloodwork live and virtual event, which is a value of $1,200 each. To get inside this contest and giveaway, you will need to subscribe and review the podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. You can get all the details and join this contest at the link in the bio. Winners will be chosen at random for the grand prize and announced on the podcast on August 9th. So be sure to subscribe. Also, this season 5, is going to be new, directed more for practitioners on Thursday episodes. So Tuesday episodes will be, as we all know and love. Thursday episodes are for practitioners and practitioners only, for the most part. This podcast is also sponsored by my favorite supplement companies, Systemic Formulas and My Biome. Come join me inside their private Facebook group for practitioners called Systemic Formulas Clinical Nutrition. For everybody to learn more, join Systemic Formulas on Instagram. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Beyond the Diagnosis podcast with me, Dr. Kylie. We are beginning season 5 today, and season 5 is going to be the best one yet. In fact, we're going to do 2 episodes per week. All right, so here's how it's going to go. It's going to begin now, July 12th, through the end of December. I think I had December 20th as the final episode for this. That's 2 episodes a week, guys. So you better follow along, otherwise you're going to miss it. Here's what's going to happen. Every Tuesday of the month, you will hear an episode that we have all come to love and enjoy, whether it be me or whether it be a guest. And I have a lot of incredible guests. Every Thursday, the episode is going to be for practitioners. If you are a practitioner or a clinician or an aspiring practitioner and clinician, pay attention very carefully to the Thursday episodes. They are going to be for you. We're going to talk about all things money, business, marketing, mindset, and I'm going to highlight a lot of those on my own, but I'm also going to bring Jen Polson in once a month. She's going to come join us because Jen joins us inside the 90-day program. She is a mindset and emotion specialist and has helped me overcome a lot of my mental barriers, and she's helping people inside the 90-day program right now. So I want to get you guys familiar with her and how she does it. In fact, Thursday's episode is going to be about time. Time. How do we talk about time? How do we better our relationship with time? And we're just going to get started with that. So today's episode, I want to start off this new season because we have so many new followers and listeners updating you on my life because I'm a real human being just like you guys. I am 32 years old at the time of this airing. I was born September 18th, 1989 in a little teeny itty bitty town called Mount Pleasant, Utah. Now that is a central Utah area in the rural area of Utah. I currently live in the Wasatch Front, which is just about 45 minutes north of Salt Lake, depending on traffic days. I live right next to Antelope Island or the Great Salt Lake, so mosquitoes are a big time problem every evening at dusk. They come out like crazy. So that's where I am. That's where I live. I have grown up in Utah. In fact, I grew up in the exact same house I now own. It was the last thing on this planet that I wanted to do. All right, so just hear me out for a minute. If you guys are sitting in a scenario, or you have sat in a scenario where you just know that it's the right thing to do, but yet you don't want to do it, that's me. So let me back up a little bit here. High school, I got into volleyball. My mom introduced me to volleyball at 12 years of age. I was so mad at her. I remember crying the entire way to club tryouts. And she told me that I couldn't decide if I liked volleyball or not until I learned the game. Well, I learned the game, and I never stopped playing it for like the next 12, 13, 14 years. At 12 years old, I started setting, and that became my love. I became really good at it quickly, and I understood it at a level that really no player should have understood it at like I did, which created a problem between me and my coaches, especially in college. In fact, I played volleyball at Southern Utah University. I had issues with my high school coach too, because heaven forbid, I just don't even want to get into that story. If there's one regret in my life, this is it, which is why I don't do this anymore. If I'm 32 years old, I'm looking back across my entire lifespan of my 32 years, almost 33 here in September. The only regret I have, I was supposed to get emotional on this one, was that I didn't walk out of practice. I had an awful high school coach who was very emotionally manipulative, particularly to me. And during this one practice, she was all high and mighty in her shoes. I mean, she was one of those type of people that wanted to always be popular. So she played nice to the popular girls. I just understood the game, and I understood it really well. And our college or our high school teams were terrible. My club team, now that was where it was at. Because as a setter, I could pull all of the best athletes in the area. They would come on my club team, and then we'd go kick trash in club season. But this coach of mine, she was like, if you guys want to be done playing this game or something like that, she challenged us to quit the team right then and there and walk out. And it was probably the only time in my life I didn't have the balls to do it. I should have. And I have since talked to a couple teammates since that day. Now where it's 15 years later. And I tell them, and they remember the exact same practice too. And one of them said to me, if you would have walked, I would have walked out with you. And you being the leader, half the team would have walked out behind you. But because you didn't start it, nobody made a move. So take a life lesson from that. Be the leader. Be that person that everybody wants to follow. Have the courage to do it. Maybe that's why I am where I am today. Because I am fearless now. In fact, I am so fearless. We just booked our very first conference in Orlando, Florida. So if you haven't heard this yet, you now know that I'm going to bring you the best business, marketing, and mindset coaches in the entire world. I've already got two of them to say yes. Because think about it. When we go to conferences, they are put on by most likely supplement companies. And these supplement companies, bless their hearts, are teaching us a lot about patient care and about physiology and functional medicine and biochemistry and labs and supplement creations and herbs. But we never, ever, ever have a conference that's just for us alternative practitioners where we can go get mindset training, because the biggest difference for me was when I upgraded my mindset and when I changed my relationship with money. So that's the first thing we're going to do at this conference, February 20th, 21st, and 22nd of 2023, Orlando, Florida, at the Wyndham Grand Bonnet Creek Resort. So mark your calendars. Registration will begin in September when we have more details locked in. We're going to talk about mindset. I'm going to bring in the best business coaches. I'm going to bring in the best marketing coaches. So if you're thinking about an event to attend next year, you better attend this one. This should be like the top dog event you should attend. It's not just going to be a conference either. Like, it is going to be a show that blows up your business, that gives you the confidence you need, the tools you need, the mindset pieces, the marketing pieces, the business structure pieces, all the stuff that we don't get unless you go hire one of these experts. And if you're like me, you work with 4 of them at one time. And don't worry, I'm going to bring you all 4 because I can. February 20th, 21st, and 22nd of 2023. Stay tuned. Registration begins in September. And there's a limited seating, 200 seats available. Virtual is going to be an option, but you will not have the ability to watch it on replay. This is a live event and you will need to attend it live. Power happens when you attend it live. Okay, that's that. So I get through high school. I have, I'm the straight A student. I have 1 A-, all because the teacher hated my guts. She kicked me out of the classroom like 2 times for talking. Heaven forbid I talk. My best friend was in that class, so it's not my fault. Then I get into college, and many people don't know this about me, but I really struggled. I did this program called International Baccalaureate Program, IB, in high school. Would I recommend it now? No, I would never, ever recommend it. And here's why. Well, lots of reasons why. But for one, it didn't prepare me to how to take a multiple choice exam. All of my exams, my junior and senior year in high school, were short answers. In fact, I love short answers because then you can actually think like yourself, not like how everybody wants you to think. But that's not how college was. And I struggled. It was hard for me to get B's. C's came okay. And it wasn't like these are intense classes. But on the other hand, I graduated high school with my associate's degree. That was part of the IB program, which is why my parents suggested that I do it, even though it was the very first year it was offered at my high school. That's all fine and dandy. But then when you go to apply for anything after a bachelor's degree, they require you have grades for specific classes. I didn't have grades for those classes because they just wiped them out. They just checked them off the list. But in order to have the prerequisites required to get into graduate programs, I spent my senior year of college going back and taking things like statistics 1010 because I had to have it as a prereq. Whatever. Life is a journey, right? Okay, still playing volleyball. Volleyball was my life in high school and half of college. And the reason why I say half of college was because, again, here I am, a natural born leader, understanding the game very, very well. But I was not supposed to be the setter on the team. I was a walk-on. And the team was brand new the year I went to SUU. So we were all new to the college, new to that sport being at the college. And the head coach was a new head coach as well. Again, I had issues. Because the setter, who was supposed to be the setter, and the outside hitter, who were supposed to be the outside hitters, would always come to me for questions during matches, during practices, everything. So I was deemed as the threat. The assistant coach would come up to me before matches and tell me, be ready. I'm going to try to get you in the game. We need you kind of thing. Give me the spill. Head coach would never, ever put me in. The only time she put me in was on a few occasions to serve. I would literally go in and serve and come out. This is why I want to get to you this next piece about the mindset, because it was at one of these games that I realized how important what we say matters. to our head talk. Now, I have gone through so much work on my own head talk and my own mindset and what goes on between my ears that I would actually be honest with you, be outside of my family, that is the thing I protect the most. If you try to get into my headspace with anything negative or fear factors, I'm going to shut you down and dismiss you. What goes on between my ears and what goes on between your ears should be so protected that that's how you feel. And if you need to get there to that level, come join that 90-day program. That's why Jen comes in. That's why she's going to come in on this podcast this season, one time a month, most likely the first Thursday of every month. She's going to help us upgrade that mindset and change that head talk so we can have more success and more impact. Okay. So it's a timeout. Timeout is called. Coach looks at me and says, Kylie, don't miss your serve. Okay, fine. Go back to the serve. What happens? The only thing that's going in my head is don't miss your serve. All she should have said was, Kylie, serve zone 1 or Kylie, serve zone 5. Because then that's what you think about. So that's what you do. Because I was thinking about not missing my serve, I missed my serve. That's the importance of head talk. That's the importance of mindset. And trust me, my mindset game has blown up the last 2 years. Also another reason why my practice has blown up. My relationship with money has changed so drastically that now what I like to say is I have no attachment to it. I see money come in, I see money go out. There's no attachment to things. $5,000, $50,000, $100,000, whatever it is. Upgrade the mindset, upgrade the relationship with money. This podcast this season will help you do that, especially on the Thursday episodes. Tuesday episodes, again, they're going to be the guests, me, a lot of guests, because I have a lot of them already recorded and already ready to go. Some pretty phenomenal ones, including an MD, yes, a medical doctor who's now retired, who comes in and destroys the notion of insulin resistance. It was so good. I cannot wait for you guys to hear it. Dr. John. And many more, including Are Parasites a Good Thing? Just giving you guys some sneak peeks on what's coming up this season. Okay, so I played volleyball my freshman and sophomore year of college. As always, I feel like in undergrad years of college, you have roommate issues. I had roommate issues because I wasn't used to living with girls. I have 3 younger brothers. And when my youngest brother was born, I was 8 years old, I believe, 7. I was so upset. I bawled and bawled and bawled because I wanted a sister so bad. And then I got to college and thank heavens I didn't have one. I like boy activities. And now that I learn more about, men and females, men and women like to use their mouths for advantage, where men, it's the strength, right? So women use their manipulation via their mouth. Pay attention. You'll notice. Amber Heard's a perfect example. Okay. So I decided after my sophomore year that it was time to pull the plug. One of the hardest decisions I've ever made because, like I said, volleyball was my life. I did it year round. I did it every weekend growing up. And I had to make this decision that said, okay, I'm done. I'm going to be done playing the sport and move on with my life, even though I had 2 more years of college I could have played. It was so draining. Physically, mentally, emotionally, every way, shape, and form. College athletics is not what it's made out to be. It can be so fun for many. I had several high school and club teammates go on and play college, and we all pretty much say the same thing. It's not what it's meant out to be. They practically own you, and not in a good way. So, but I should caveat that because all three of my younger brothers they ran track. They're very speedy. In fact, the 400 is the name of their game. So the brother that's just younger than me, he went to BYU, had some really bad hamstring issues. So he was off and on with the 400, did make nationals his senior year purely out of, I am going to do this type mentality, despite hamstring issues. Then the middle brother, he's more of a long distance kid. So he liked the 800. And then the youngest brother just finished his senior year at BYU. He had an incredible, really 5 years because COVID, so they got an extra year. And he just finished 7th in the nation out of every 400-meter hurdler in the entire nation in college. He is number 7. He competed at nationals a couple weeks ago, and he competed at the previous Olympic trials. So pretty cool. So that being said, my college experience wasn't that great playing sports. My brothers, besides the middle brother, but that's because of a different story. The other two did great, especially Colton, the youngest. He had a heck of a career. But again, he just hung his track cleats up and called it good and ready to move on to the next phase of life. So speaking of next phase of life, I graduated SUU when I was 22 with a bachelor's degree in nutrition. And I knew that I liked this idea of food as medicine, as we now know. I didn't know then, but I now know. But I was being taught things like the food plate and the food pyramid and how dairy has a lot of calcium in it and Gatorade has a lot of electrolytes, that kind of stuff, right? Not the functional medicine or the functional nutrition we now know. But I knew that was a stepping stone. I wasn't done yet. I had no clue what was going to happen to me afterwards. I looked at everything from MD to DO to PA to NP to dietitian, just about everything as far as Western medicine is concerned. Alternative medicine, holistic medicine, not a clue to what any of that is at 22. So I move home. Instead of being in southern Utah, where I was at SUU, I came up back home to the house I'd grown up in. My younger brother was around. Colton was still around. My parents were still around. And then I just started applying for jobs like crazy. Anything I could get. I ended up taking a job as an assistant to a chiropractor. No clue what chiropractic even was. Learned a lot about chiropractic, learned a lot about functional medicine, decided that's what I want to do. So I applied to chiropractic school in Portland, Oregon. Yes, I am a chiropractor. My degree is chiropractic. Shocks everybody when they hear that because they think I'm a naturopath. I don't own a chiropractic table. I haven't owned a chiropractic table for 3 years. In fact, my dad and I were just laughing about this because my dad goes and sees another chiropractor. I finally convinced him that me working on him once every month or once every 2 months wasn't going to do jack crap, but that he should go find someone who actually specializes in this and does this for a living. So he sees a chiropractor religiously now, 2 times a week. And he was telling me the other day that he and Alan, who the chiropractor is, was laughing because my husband used to go to Alan for chiropractic before we got married. And then he scheduled an appointment a few months ago. And Alan was like telling his assistants, like, no, that's wrong. Like, there's no way Andrew's coming in. That's the wrong name you have on there. Like, no, we're pretty sure that's right. And Alan's like, no, he's married to a chiropractor. So why would he come see me? Well, might have that degree. But I think I've adjusted maybe 50, 60 times post school. It's just not my gig. I love functional medicine. I love talking about labs and blood work and figuring out what's really going on in your body and what you need to take your body from unhealthy to healthy. And during that healing journey you experience, your symptoms just start to resolve. And when symptoms go away, diagnoses go away. So I always tell people, I don't treat diagnoses. I don't even treat symptoms. I treat you as a whole person. You are a person made up of cells, organs, tissues, glands, systems, and they all interact together. Body specialist. If we were a bodyologist, we have cardiologist, endocrinologist, rheumatologists, like all these ologists. They all specialize in one part, but we forget that that system is affected by everything else in the body. So I like to treat you as a whole person. And then when we start asking ourselves, well, what causes this? It's one of my biggest pet peeves. And we're all culprit to it. What causes migraines? What causes this? What causes fatigue? What causes that? There's really no one answer. And it's unique for every person. Here's the beauty about the blood work. If you haven't discovered this already, if you haven't bought my book, go buy it. It's on Amazon called Why Are My Labs Normal? I would love a 5-star review on it. You guys are awesome. Why Are My Labs Normal on Amazon? It will teach you how to read your blood work all in one place. Okay. Your blood work determines what you need to do to go from unhealthy to healthy. Follow the journey, symptoms go away, diagnoses go away. Pretty cool. Okay, so I finished playing volleyball. I go up to Portland, Oregon to start my chiropractic degree. And it was HE double hockey sticks. Awful. Hated it. People tell you that chiropractors just crack backs and necks, right? That's why I don't tell people I'm a chiropractor, because it's just putting you into a box. In fact, I don't care what your degree is. I don't even care if you're a massage therapist or a dietitian or whatever it be, health coach. You have the ability to break free. And when you break free and you chase your dreams, the impact you have is limitless. If you would have told me 2 years ago what I would be doing today, partly because I started this podcast, even though I had no clue what the heck I was doing, technology-wise, I would have laughed in your face. So just because you have a degree in such and such, don't place yourself in that box. Okay. Okay. Fast forward, make it through chiropractic school. C's get degrees. It's all that matters. Again, I'm not the greatest person at test taking. But I'm pretty dang good in the clinic. So good that I got suspended. Because heaven forbid I try to break out of the system. Okay. Now you probably already know that story. But what you don't know is that now I get to teach practitioners. I have the opportunity to affect more lives because I was brave enough to say, if this is working for me, how can I help it work for others? I don't make decisions based on fear. I could tell you that this conference is probably going to cost me $250,000 to $500,000. Cost me that much. I don't care. I cannot wait to hug you guys in person. You practitioners listening, you better come because you all know who I am. I want to know you. I want to be able to hug and cry and shed a tear with each other. And I want to celebrate you. In fact, at this conference, we're going to have a party Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night. So don't be leaving early. Fly in Monday, fly out Thursday. Because these parties are going to celebrate every single one of us and our accomplishments, no matter if you're making $10,000 a year or $100 million a year. $100 million a year. I don't care where you're at. We all have something to celebrate, and I want to celebrate you with you. February 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Okay, now to the present time. I'm 32 years old. I have a little boy who's now 5 years old named Easton, and I have a little girl named Hallie who's 2. Hallie is 2 for a month now, month and a half, and she has yet to say a word. We're working on that. Easton, you've all been listening to me, he has had a lot of troubles sleeping. Well, guess what? After I tried every physical sleep solution I could think of, I finally had it. And about, I would guess, 8-10 months ago, after one of those nights where he'd been in my room 4 times a night or whatever, I was like, hey, dude, what if we go to the toy store, aka Kohl's in his world, and you can buy any toy you want? Yeah, Mom, let's do it. Okay, but you have to sleep in your bed all night long and stay in your bed all night long, and then we'll go do it. That night, he slept in his bed like a champ. So bribery, parents. Bribery works because now my 5-year-old is the best sleeper in the entire house. So there you have it. I bribed my son, and now he sleeps. So we went from one night, and then we'd say, okay, now you need to sleep for 3 nights in a row. Then we would go 5 nights, and then we'd go 7 nights, and we'd go 10 nights. Now it's just habit. Now he does on occasion, like last night, come into my bed, and I don't even know he's in there until the little girl wakes me up because she drinks 17 ounces of water at night and has to pee and has peed all over her bed and through her diaper. And we're working on that one too, but at least it's water. And it's like basically all she drinks. She just always wants to have her bottle. And yes, she's still drinking out of a bottle because I tried every sippy cup known to mankind and straws and everything else. And she just wants to drink out of her bottle. But now she's strong enough with her teeth that she's bitten many lids off. So we're on our last round. When those lids go, she's done. So that's the story of my life. My husband and I are rocking this life together. He runs a roofing company. And because of the supply chain, it's affected not only the general contracting world, but it's also affected the supplement world and every other industry because it's the entire supply chain. So there you have it. Here's your update on my life. Come join me. If you haven't bought my book yet, go grab it so you can learn how to read labs, or you can be the practitioner that rocks the labs for every patient you have coming in. Buy it on Amazon. Buy my lab is normal. Be sure to follow the podcast because we're going to have a loaded season again. Every Tuesday episode will be what you know and love. Every Thursday episode is going to be for practitioners, where I will dive in to everything I can possibly think of to help you be more successful. And a lot of that is going to be mindset, business, marketing, and money. Upgrading our relationship with money. All right, y'all. Welcome to season 5 of the Beyond the Diagnosis podcast with me, Dr. Kylie. I'm so glad you joined me today on this episode of the Beyond the Diagnosis with Dr. Kylie podcast. Remember, if you're a practitioner, you need to get inside this contest and giveaway. Check the link below to get all the details, and you can get my free step-by-step guide and get placed inside the possibility of becoming a grand prize winner and receive free access into my next Master Bloodwork live and virtual event. It's coming up soon. So grab everything you need at the link below, join the contest, get the goodies, and I'm here to help you. Why? Because we're all in this together. Come join me inside the Systemic Formulas Facebook group for practitioners. It's also a private group called Systemic Formulas Clinical Nutrition. Everybody else, go join Systemic Formulas on Instagram, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for joining me.